fam. I get to share with you my greatest passions today, two of them. My love for Christ and cooking. And this is one of my favorite dishes, I must say to you. When I was younger, my mother would make cabbage and she would cook it so it wasn't crispy. And so I've learned how to put my own spin on it. And today I am preparing for you a cabbage medley. Remember now to share this video, like it, subscribe, and your comments are so important to me. If you like this, if you want me to prepare something else, please let me know. At the end of the video, you'll see my photo in the right-hand side of the video. At the close of the video, all you have to do is click it and subscribe. Let's get started with the meal now. I got my cabbage that's already cooked and cleaned and cut up for you. What I prepared for you before you are julienne cuts of peppers. Julienne cuts of peppers. Red, green, and orange. That's what makes it a medley. And I've also done a julienne cut on an onion. I like to take my cabbage and I like to fry it. But before I actually fry the cabbage, lightly in some vegetable oil, or either I'm using today some olive oil that I'm going to fry because I don't like a lot of oil also on my cabbage. So I'm going to first of all take the onion and saute the onion in the skillet that I have already turned on for you. Put it down in there lightly. Let them sweat a little bit. Just cook down just a little bit in here for you. And once they cook down some, then I'm going to start adding in my peppers. I do them first. Now I cook this in a skillet on purpose to add the flavor. You know, the flavor is enhanced for me even more so in a skillet because I am actually frying this cabbage. But it's not fried in a lot of oil. You don't have to do that. Not necessary. You can smell the onions. I love the smell of veggies when you cook them because I want my vegetables to be crisp. I have a separate pot here on the side. Now once I've cooked all of these items down, I'm just going to pour them over into the pot. That's all I'm going to do. Take them out and put them in the pot and leave the pot on warm so it's somewhat cooking it just a little bit, but not much. Okay? So I've got that in there. Let's start adding in my peppers. It doesn't take long for these to cook either. Let's turn the fire up. Get on there. You don't want them to burn and you don't want to overcook them at all. Just let them sit there and cook just down just a little bit. That's all we need to do. Okay. Take them all and put them in there. Doesn't take a lot. To cook them in. And I'm constantly going to turn them in the oil. And I only have just a tad bit of oil in here. I don't like a lot of oil on my cabbage. And years ago, my mother and other people in our neighborhood would cook their cabbage and also put some water in the pot. Don't you dare put any water on this cabbage. Cabbage and greens make their own water. You take you take from the flavoring of your food. You don't have to do that. Just let them cook down just a little bit. It doesn't take much for them at all when you're doing it. Constantly stirring them. You just want them to cook, and you can look at them and see when they've cooked. You can do that. You definitely can. And all I'm doing, and I don't have to season these. I don't put any seasoning on my peppers at all. I am just really going to season my cabbage. I'm going to season my cabbage with my same old standard seasonings that I use on here. Because the frying is going to bring out a flavoring in the cabbage that you will be able to detect. Okay, that's all that I do to it. Constantly turning it, and I got my fire up high on here. I just want them to sweat down some and just do a little cooking because I definitely want my julienne cut peppers to be crispy. Alright, I'm going to let them cook a little bit. Alright, and I'm going to share with you while they're cooking down some my thought for today. My thought is no more excuses. for us in life, because we have a tendency to make excuses for everything. We may make excuses based upon how we're feeling, what we're going through. It may be based upon some fears that we may have, some situations that we've gone through before, fear of embarrassment. Sometimes we have fears of success, and even succeeding and going forth, making a change in life takes a stand for us. When you say, I'm going to make a change, I'm tired of something, I'm not going to do this any longer, it takes a stand, a particular stand in your life, a position that you can hold and say, I'm not doing that any longer. I'm not going to be abused any longer. I'm tired of this situation. Fear of making mistakes that we have, the fear of having responsibilities, and sometimes it's the fear of uncertainties that we have over certain situations. No more excuses is what I'm talking about. I want you to take the time out and think about where you're at in your life, what you're going through, how many times you've gone through the same situation that may seem somewhat cyclical in your life. What are you going to do about that in order to make some changes in your life? You get an opportunity now to say, I'm not making any excuses any longer. I'm going to make a difference. Let's give attention back to these peppers. I'm just turning them lightly. I'm about to take these out and put these over in this other pot. Just a couple of minutes that they're cooking down. You capturing them, Kyle? Yep. Just the coloring of them and the smell of it is just off. And then all we have to do next is just the cabbage. One of my favorite dishes. I had the opportunity of preparing this dish in the 100 Black Women of Atlanta. They have an event that they used to have years ago where chefs from all around in Atlanta would come in and prepare their dishes, or just men would come in and prepare their dishes. I happened to win first place on this cabbage medley. It's one of my favorite dishes, I'm telling you. It really, really is. It's not just the coloring of it, the taste is phenomenal. Takes the cabbage to a whole nother level. Really does. Another minute or so, we're going to put this in the pot. And then we're going to start on this cabbage and cook it down some. I have another pot, as I said, sitting here to the side. It's on warm. So when I dump this all over in here, it'll still be warm and still cooking just slightly, not much, because I don't want it to overcook at all. But I have to do that so that I can make room in this skillet. That's all I'm doing. Let's take it now. Let's move it over. It's off the pot. And where is my knick-knack? Here it is. You can pick this up. Skillet is somewhat heavy. See if I can get that. There we go. I'm just going to put it down in this pot. There we go. Leave some oil in here. You don't want all the oil out of it. So it's still cooking slightly over here in this pot. Not a lot. I don't need it to cook a lot. I'm going to take some olive oil and put in here. And get ready for this cabbage. Let it cook just a little bit. Stir this over here. While it's still doing this thing over here, it's still working. Let's take some cabbage now. You all ready? I tell you, you're really not ready for this, because this is a fantastic meal. Literally frying the cabbage. A little at a time. That's enough. Taking it and seasoning it. So each batch that I use, that I put over in the skillet of the cabbage, I'm going to lightly season it. Black pepper, my magic chef that has no salt in it, because I do not cook with salt at all. I don't use any salt in any of my dishes. And my favorite go-to adobo on this cabbage. The coloring of it is just awfully pretty too. I'm just going to let it cook down some. That's all I'm doing to this cabbage. It does not take long to do this dish at all. It's the prep time that you have when you're making dishes. Isn't that pretty, Tom? Yep. My photographer, my videographer, my son, Kyle. He takes the photos and videos when he's available and not in school. And I appreciate it. Just let it cook down some. That's it. It's already seasoned. If I had to do nothing to the peppers, remember that again. There isn't much that I needed to do on the peppers at all. Just let the peppers cook down some, and then you're going to blend this all in together. Couple of minutes. You can see the difference in your cabbage already. How it's cooking. Let it fry. Getting all the flavor in the bottom of the skillet through here. Yeah. That looks, oh, that just looks so good to me. Okay. I'm going to get ready to take it out of here. Just a couple of minutes, everybody. I can feel the difference in it. There we go. Just constantly turn it. Take this cabbage now. I'm putting it over and with the peppers. This is my first batch. Okay. I'm going to stir this over here and blend this in there. Carol, come capture this, how it's blending together. And the cabbage with the peppers. Okay, there we go. Let me get ready for my next batch. Add a little bit more oil to my skillet again. Doesn't take long for it to get hot. And then I'm going to add in my cabbage. Can you capture it? I use 1 head of cabbage in this. Just 1 head of cabbage. It won't take long for this to cook, you all. I use 1 green pepper, 1 red pepper, 1 orange pepper, 1 green pepper, and 1 onion. Liberally sprinkle the seasoning around because you want to make sure that you're seasoning your food appropriately. And this would be all the seasoning that I will need to add to this dish once I do this. I like to prep everything maybe the day before if I know that I'm going to cook a cabbage or something, because it takes additional time away from you actually cooking the meal and prepping the meal. But if you do all of that in advance, it works for you. Let's get size cut. Okay. I'm going to come back over here and constantly stir this. And it's on low. And my food is blending. And the mixture of everything. It smells wonderful. You can smell the seasonings, everything in there. This is now taking long because the skillet is hot. And I don't have a lot of oil on the food at all. A lot of folks don't like a lot of the oils on their food. Not at all. It's a matter of cooking this down. And we are just about finished. While that's cooking a little bit, let me just go back to what I'm talking about when I talked about no more excuses. I said that and I thought about it from our stance as individuals. And then I began to think about life in this perspective. Everybody is not meant to be an entrepreneur. No, not at all. But I believe that as a people, we are all gifted in some manner to do something. And we want to have several different streams of income, so we have to use our talents that we have. And we can still use our talents if we choose not to be an entrepreneur, work on a job, and still have a skill set to do something else that you're passionate about. That is what I'm trying to drive home. To be passionate about something that you're doing. I'm passionate about cooking. Not that I can just cook and I like to serve a great meal, the presentation of it all. You enjoying the meal, you taking this recipe and saying, I'm going to master it and I'm going to do the same thing that Chef Marco has done as well. We're going to pour this cabbage out now, and then I'm going to do the last layer of it, and it is done, you all. I can smell it. You can smell it in the skillet. It gives it a whole different flavor, a whole different look. It really does. There we go. My last batch, and we are done, and then we're going to take it and put it in our serving dish. There we go. Capture this. Here we go. And it's not a lot of cabbage. We're about to pour this all out and put the whole meal together. Just bear with me, everybody. I'm going to put it in a bowl. Small amount so it doesn't take long for it to cook it all. Okay, there we go. Take this out. We are done. Turn the fire off here. Blend this all in together. There we go. Let's blend it. And then I get to give you the presentation of it all. Perhaps in one of my next videos I'll do some hot water cornbread, because I tell you nothing like some good homemade cabbage and some hot water cornbread. It just makes a difference. I'm going to take it now and lay it out for you. Oh my God. Look at how beautiful that is. That is simply beautiful. And that would be your final presentation for what I call my cabbage medley. It is an awesome dish to serve. You can eat this by itself with some cornbread, hot water cornbread, regular cornbread. You can even do some Jiffy Mix cornbread with it. Just know that it makes a fantastic meal, and I pray that you enjoy it.